Agriculture used to be something that everyone did or had family that did, and now we're a couple generations separated from the family farm. So I love educating people about agriculture in Ontario, teaching them about kind of what we do and where their food comes from. And I'm happy to be raising my kids on the farm and giving them that same opportunity, as well as my niece and nephew. I'm currently raising the 8th generation involved in agriculture in this concession of Norfolk County, and I still work alongside my parents. So I think asparagus is one of the coolest vegetables that there is. I might be a little biased. It's a plant that we plant once and then typically harvest for about 20 years. So we plant it and then don't cut it, just allow it to grow for three years and then cut it for 20. We typically cut it for about 8 weeks of the year. What it is it's actually, we plant a crown, so it's a giant root system, and it has many buds on it, and it will shoot up basically different spears from those buds over the season. So if we look, I'll see if we can find a good one here. So this would be a small crown here. So you can see that there's 4 different asparagus that's coming out of this crown area. So this one will be ready to cut in a couple days depending on the temperature, and then these 2 are coming up behind it. You can also see that there's lots of stubs that have been left from the asparagus that was cut. One thing that a lot of people misunderstand about asparagus is that they feel that the thicker the spear is, that it's older. That's not true. All of the spear that we harvest is the same age. It just depends on the size of that nodule on the crown when it starts to grow. So thinner and thicker, one isn't any better than the other. It's just personal preference. So this field that's behind me, we cut this entire field every day, and then when it's growing and it's really hot, we will cut it twice. So it is an unrelenting vegetable in that it just keeps growing once it starts. We harvest these same plants every year for approximately 20 years. This variety that is grown predominantly here in Ontario is actually called Millennium. It makes up, I would say, 95% of Ontario production right now, and it was actually developed by Dr. Dave Woolen at the University of Guelph, and it's being now grown all over the world. So we are real leaders in the asparagus breeding and production across the world, and this Millennium has really changed the industry here in Ontario and made it very viable to grow this crop. There's only about 3,200 acres being grown currently in the province, but that makes, I would say, approximately $50 billion that it produces annually. Ontario asparagus is available from early May to late June, early July here in Ontario. And so it's just making sure that it's fresh. It should be tagged product from Ontario on it, and making sure that your local grocers are carrying. And there is potential to have Mexican, Peruvian, and American come in this time of year, but we want to make sure that we're checking and making sure you're buying local Ontario asparagus. And there's also lots of roadside stands if you're driving around the country that you can stop at, particularly in southwestern Ontario. Foodland is a huge supporter of Ontario asparagus, and so you can also look for the Foodland label. So I think if there's one thing that consumers could do to educate themselves is to learn more about seasonality and what fruits and vegetables are available at what times of the year, and look for them. Eat with the season, eat what's available and what's being produced and grown. Foodland Ontario, again, has an awesome availability guide on their website that you can check out, and it'll tell you kind of what's being grown at what time of year and where you can get it. Food production is critical for any country, but especially for Canada, and we want to make sure that going forward we can produce safe, healthy food for everyone to eat in this country. We have the ability to do it. It's just making sure that we can continue to do it into the future. And I think the biggest part of that is making sure that it's an industry that remains financially viable so that farmers can continue to operate successfully.